Okay, hello. Thank you to be here to talk about the ClayPencil. My name is Daniel Martinez Lara, and my three passions is training. I have my own animation school. I'm making consulting and training for studios, mainly for Grease Pencil. I love storytelling, make my own animation shorts time to time. Okay, and my other passion is design animation tools. Okay, I'm not a developer. I'm working with developers. Okay, but these tools, one of them is Grease Pencil, another one is Grease Pencil VR, and ClayPencil tool. So, what is basically ClayPencil? ClayPencil is the option. Is the workflow that you are working in a 2D with the Grease Pencil, okay? And with the magic of the Grease Pencil with the geometry nodes, okay? You can convert your 2D drawings in a 3D objects, animated objects, okay? So basically, it's just with the 2D workflow and the geometry nodes thing, okay, try to create another kind of workflow, okay, to create 3D animation with the 2D workflow, okay. Obviously, it's not for all the cases; it's just for different kind of styles, okay. But I think that there is a lot of potential here. So, but before to talk about the Grease Pencil, I want to talk about all the developments that I'm working on, okay, because Grease Pencil is a result of different process. Because ClayPencil is the next step in a long development journey that began 16 years ago with Anisculpt. So 16 years ago, I started working in a script just to create a sculpt animated rigged characters, okay, to create this kind of deformation without rig, with a extra bones thing. Okay, so in that time, okay, is just a script to dealing with the crazy space problem, all this kind of thing. And after that, I don't remember the Blender developer, started to introduce the features to make this possible by default in Blender. So, preparing this talk, I realized that all my future developments had the same goal. Is basically trying to eliminate or minimize the use of rigs, of bones, for 3D animation. So the next development was working with B-bones. When I saw B-bones in the first time in Blender, I fell in love. I think it's a really nice feature. So I decided working with, I think it was developer allegories, I don't know, maybe another one, to try to implement, to improve the B-bone system with more controls, scale things, custom rotation, all this kind of thing. Okay, maybe this. Just create animation, more complex animation with less bones. Okay, because. Yes, it's basically the goal, try to use less bone as possible for 3D animation. One of the key of this presentation is that I love in Blender is the power of Blender, the blending in Blender. Okay, I think is the most interesting part for me in Blender is try to combine different techniques. For example, in this one is try to using Anisculpt and B-bones. Okay, this is another example, is create a more complex or animation, okay, only with 19 bones, in this case, deformation bones, okay, using the B-bones improvements, okay, and the complex deformation just using Anisculpt, okay, to create all the wrinkles, all the skin effects, all this kind of thing, using this combination of these two tools, okay? don't need create more bones or all these kind of things just to create this kind of animation. Okay, so the next one, of course, was Grease Pencil. This timeline is not linear because most of this development are overlapping in time. For example, Grease Pencil, working with the great Antonio Vázquez, the developer Antonio Vázquez, Amantian Bendiola, we spent around 10 years in the development of Grease Pencil. Okay, are overlapping. So in this case, okay, basically, you know, it's Grease Pencil. It was just in that time, it's just an annotation tool. Okay, so the idea is why not convert to this tool for another more, maybe for storyboarding or maybe for some kind of animations. Or so year by year with a lot of improvement. Right now, it's a really production tool for make 2D and combination with 3D. Okay, so the next two is basically two proof of concept. So Keymesh, okay, and anim without rig. Keymesh, basically the idea is with have a different geometry per frame that you can sculpt. One more time with just a little rig, okay, a few bones, okay, for the head and the eyes, okay, and the rest is just like a new like a stop motion thing, like a new geometry and a sculpt and create all this animation using that. Yes, this is a proof of concept. There is some add-ons out there that make this, and the another one is just another totally different approach. It's just with one geometry, empty geometry, without rig. Okay, just to try to animate all this using only the sculpt posing tools. Okay, in that time I worked with Pablo Dobarro. That was in that time the main developer of Sculpt, okay, and we worked to introduce, okay, introduce some tools, okay, to add some improvement in the Sculpt tool, just to rotate, pose, create some chains for deformation, all these kind of things. Okay, and all the animation is driven by blend shapes, basically. This is another proof of concept. So after that, the NextLabGrease Pencil VR. There is a lot of information about that because my two past presentations here in Blender conference is talking about the Grease Pencil and VR. But basically, the idea is just to introduce. For me, it's not about the glasses. Okay, the glasses is okay. The immersive is nice. But for me, it's the control thing. Okay, have a new peripheral, like you have the mouse, you have your stylus to draw, and for some task, have the controllers to navigate in the space and draw. I think is great. Is the best way for some task. Okay, and of course the ClayPencil. Okay, ClayPencil. Okay, is another example of the power of blending in Blender. Okay, because Grease Pencil is just the default Grease Pencil features with the geometry nodes features. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so everyone can make his own nodes to create this geometry in 3D space. Right now I'm working is because I see this workflow and it's not problem. Of course, you need create very efficient geometry nodes for performance or create new shapes in the space. But right now I'm working in how it's about the design, how the artists interact, okay, with this tool. What is the best way for layer, using materials? What is this interaction with the tool? Okay, right now this is the working. So here you have some another examples. Okay. This was made with the version 0.1, the old one, and now I'm working in the 0.2. Basically, in this version, is working by layer. You have a layer, you apply, you connect manually in this version, manually a geometry nodes group, okay, and here and there, okay, and you have different options like a tube, geometry, flat, all this kind of thing, okay. And basically, but your main animation tool are 2D Grease Pencil things, and you have in the second version, okay, now it's more focusing materials. It's you are drawing with some material, and you apply some effect to this material, like a 3D geometry, like a plane or tube or something. There is many options, okay, and obviously in the future can make with more magic in the geometry nodes, because I realized working on that I'm not smart enough, okay, in geometry nodes, okay, because there is a lot of options, okay, and or make it more efficient. This was made with the new version, okay, and this is some example of the community. Okay, so you see you are working with the Grease Pencil workflow. Okay, now it's time to show in Blender. Okay, have here Blender. So basically, right now the current interaction is that when you create a Grease Pencil stroke, something like that. Okay, and now you are in the go to the material, and now is working with Antonio Vázquez and Matías Mendelas too. We are decide what is the best interaction for that. Okay, and now we decide that the working with materials is a property of the materials using an add-on, okay, for that. Okay, so you have ClayPencil, and now this is a tube thing. Okay, let me turn off the formation. Okay, and now when you start to draw here, okay, you start to create geometry. Okay. So for example, if you draw something like that, a sphere. Okay, now I can change the type of the geometry nodes thing, okay, and I can change by fill option. Let me turn off the font. Now it's a huge fill, but there is extrude here. Okay, so basically it's just by material and using geometry node is make different geometry node types to generate geometry. Let me show you with a more different sample. Like this is the old one. Okay, in this case it was based only by layer. Okay, and I think it's not the best way to do that. But basically here you have all your nodes. In that version is the user can need to make this connection manually. Okay, so for example, if I made some changes in that, you can use what is it, the clone what is the name? We are duplicate and duplicate like a reference thing, so I can start to draw here and see the result there. And basically, here is all the nodes. If I cut all these nodes, okay, everything is disappear here. So let me show you another example, like a new, with a new version. Oh, no, that's right. Okay. In that way, in that version, right now we have a modifier with more options, for example, show the strokes or apply the simplify thing, okay, just to create a remesh thing. Okay, now I want to try the new option in geometry nodes that blend the normals. Okay, I think it will be nice, because one of the problem right now with the Grease Pencil, if you want this soft thing, is that you need make some remesh thing, and the one problem is the performance about that. Okay, so with that, it's real time. Okay, if you want the final result, you need to put this. Okay, basically this working, yes, by material is a property of in the head. Okay, you have an option here and some different options like deformation, save, extrude. Okay, and put this simplify. Okay, now I'm working in what kind of option are great. Okay, resolution, maybe subdivision, decrease, or different options. Use a specific material, not because right now maybe in the last version is possible. Use the color of material of the original stroke to use like a regular shader material. Okay, but you can override with different materials here. Okay. So basically is that. Now I'm working in that, but the idea is simple. It's just Grease Pencil in combination with that. And let me go back here again to the presentation. Okay. So another example of the power of blending in Blender is that using the Grease Pencil VR thing with the ClayPencil thing. This is a really simple, really basic example, okay? But it's, you can see the potential, okay? It's basically you can draw in the space real geometry. Okay, and using geometry node, you can, for example, make your set dress in your scene, drawing with Grease Pencil, with the geometry node trees thing or whatever. Okay, but it's so interesting, yes, to the power of blending things in Blender. Okay, so basically that's it. When you see all these kind of different developments, okay, basically the Anisculpt, B-Bones, and Grease Pencil are in the file in Blender by default. Okay, Keymesh and Animate without Grease is just like a proof of concept. There is a lot of room to improvements and see how implemented in a real production. Okay, right now it's just a concept. Okay, bueno. Okay, the improvements in the school posing tools is by default in Blender. And the NextLabGrease Pencil VR is just in development, trying to survive and implement. The good thing is that right now, for the part of Blender, there is a roadmap to integrate new inputs, okay, and XR, and there is a roadmap about how to introduce VR and other input devices for that. So it will be great. And ClayPencil, that I'm working on it. I'm totally on it, okay, because I think this will be great if in some time we'll use like a default thing in Blender, okay, maybe with asset thing, or I don't know, with a script, or no, or maybe it's just option in materials by default, I don't know, but I think it's a new way to create 3D animation, okay. Because I like this slide, because the 3D workflow is okay. It's not a problem with that. The only thing is that there is a lot of steps. In 2D workflow, it's basically design, animation, and you can paint. Okay, it's simplified, right? Because you have all in animation when you have a pen, okay, or this kind of thing, okay, you have because this is the idea behind of that is just try to put inside Blender this tool in many places, okay. Obviously, the digital version of this, the pen, it's like a stylus, 3D devices, pointed devices, like a VR thing, all this kind of thing. Because creating 3D using the 2D workflow, I think is powerful and cover one part of some kind of production that don't need a very complex rig. That is okay, but with that, I think that we have another way to create 3D animation, thanks to the power of blending in Blender. So basically, is that. Bye.